What's good, everybody? GODSON Official Music back again with a new video, and this one is unlike everything else I've already done because it is a tutorial video. And I never wanted to do anything like this on this channel, but my brother suggested it because I was showing him how to do some things with Pro Tools, and he just thought that would be a great subject to turn into a video, and I kind of agreed with him, even though I don't believe I'm the right guy or even a source for that kind of information. If you like this video and you want to see more, let me know. And don't forget to subscribe to my other channel, Lightning Powered Art. Links are in the description box, and it's also on the top banner of my YouTube page. All that additional stuff. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to explain the differences between inserts, auxiliary tracks, making a bus, and how to send effects into all of those. And this is kind of a intermediate kind of thing. It's not necessarily beginner. It's going into like mixing techniques and stuff. And everybody has their own way of doing it. I am no means an expert on this, but this is what I learned, and I think if you couldn't understand how some people were already doing it in the videos that are already on YouTube, this might be the video for you. So I'm going to show you right now. I'm going to explain first the differences between all those stuff, okay? So when you, for example, want to make an insert track, let's say you have a mixer like this right here. You've recorded your song, or you're about to start recording your song, and you want to set everything up so it's easy to control and mix later. First default thing, you open up this track section at the top screen, you select new, you make some tracks. The first few tracks you probably always want to make in a project is your master track right there, some audio tracks for recording, and auxiliary tracks for the busing, okay? And they call it busing because your insert tracks, your audio tracks, are all supposed to be on board your bus, metaphorically speaking, and the bus will then direct all the sound to the master. So let's say I make an audio track like this one that my voice is going through right now in blue, and let's make it brighter so you guys can't miss it. I want to put some effects on it. So what I do is I take the default plugins from Pro Tools. I put a noise gate on my insert here where my voice is going through, set it. I want a compressor on that. I set it, I put it there in the insert menu. I'm assuming you guys already know how to do that, and I don't need to explain that to you. So that's cool for one track. But let's say I have more than one track. It would be really, really repetitive and annoying if I had to set up all of the same settings on all these same plugins on like 20 different tracks, right? That's where the bus comes in. So you take the effects you want and you want to apply them to all the tracks that you want to apply them to by putting those effects onto your auxiliary. And the auxiliary will allow you to process all your tracks with the same effects as long as they're routed into this auxiliary. So let's call this auxiliary lead vox. We double click on the name. Let's just type it in. We type it in. Boom. Okay. Now, the next step is you want to be able to route the sound. So by default, your audio tracks are always going to be routing into your master, which is receiving sound or outputting sound through the default audio device. For me, it's MBOX 2. That's what I've got plugged up. Okay, so what you're going to do, and this is the really tricky part, so watch this video over a few times until you get it. But what you're going to do is you'll notice that on the top of all of these, you'll see inputs, names. By default, your auxiliary says no input. What you have to do is left click, my bad. Left click that. It'll pop up a menu like this. Okay, I know you saw the menu. So when you see that menu, you should be clicking bus, and that'll bring out a different menu, a bigger one, where it'll show you a list of unused bus names. Okay, so you might have like 100 buses. Those don't mean anything right now. What you have to do is choose any of those and rename it to something that you can remember, that tells you exactly what it's for. I renamed my bus to Lead Vox. Okay, and that's what's going to be set on your input of your auxiliary. So Lead Vox is the name of our auxiliary. We want to turn it into a bus for all of our lead vocals. On the input of the Lead Vox bus, we select any bus that pops up out of that menu. We rename it to Lead Vox. Now on the output of the tracks we want to affect and reroute to our new bus, we have to select the input of that to match our output of the insert track. So audio track is called audio 1, right? On the output section, you pull up that menu again like this. Okay, so you pull up that menu, you select bus, and the bus we already created will be highlighted. Okay, you have to select the correct bus name that matches the bus that you're trying to route it to. Okay, so the input of your insert doesn't change. You leave it to whatever you already have. The output of your insert track should match the input of your bus. Does that make sense? So you see right there on the input section of the auxiliary, it says this, Lead Vox. The output on our insert should say Lead Vox, so they match. The output of your auxiliary tracks should never change. Don't even mess with that. That's going to be the default audio device, which allows us to hear what these tracks are doing. Okay, so once I've done all of that, the effects that you would have put on your single track, now you can take those effects, drag it and drop it onto your bus, and that's it. Basically, you're good with that. So now all the new tracks you make that you want to be processed with the same effect, you just do what I told you here. You take the output section, switch it to the input of the bus you're trying to route them through. So now instead of going audio input to master, it goes audio input, bus, master. And that's that. Now let's say you have more than one bus, or you want to create more than one bus. And on these buses, you want to have buses for your audio track like we just did, and you also want a bus that has effects, so that way you can apply something like a reverb, for example, to all the vocals without having to set individual reverbs for every single vocal. Okay, so what you do is the same process. You take the input section right there, select a bus, rename it to whatever you want it to be, in this case reverb, put on a reverb. We got deverb on it here by default. Nothing fancy. Okay. Now, here we're going to do something interesting. If you go down right here, you'll notice sends has a lot of space. Those are slots. You have to click on them, left click, not right click, and that'll allow you to pull up another menu, just like the one over here. You have to click bus again, and assuming you did everything right beforehand, that bus will show up that you've just created called reverb, highlighted. You click on that highlighted bus, the new one we just made, and it'll show you this, which is a volume control, right? It just shows you how much of the signal from the reverb track we want to get into the audio tracks that are being routed into the lead vocal bus. So from 0, completely off, with the infinity sign there, to max, like this. You can hear all that reverb. That's what having sends allows you to do. And obviously you can put as many sends as you want, and you can do this forever. So for example, you have, and well, let's say hypothetically you ran out of effects slots, so we filled all these up. What you can do, now that you know how to make an effect bus, and let me name that actually reverb. We name our new effect bus reverb. You have a reverb bus. You also have a lead vocal bus. So now you want, let's say you ran out of spaces on your sends for the lead bus. You have every effect that you could ever think of, and for some reason you've ran out of space. What you want to do, go on ahead, create a new auxiliary bus. Remember, by default, the input section says no input. You have to create that, okay? Just doing what we showed you. Click on the button, no input, select bus, rename, there's your bus. You could fill all of these up with more effects, plus a send, and route that on your bus. When you click on the send slot, it'll show you the menu. You could click bus. You can select any of the buses we've already made, so you can almost create an endless chain of effects and routes, and it always ends up at your master, right? So you never switch the output. Boom. That is the difference between inputs, your default type of track, inserts, your default type of track, auxiliary, which is your bus, and sends, which you use to send the effects on buses to other buses. Okay, so that's that little tutorial for today. Hopefully I explained it to you guys really well, and if I didn't, let me know. If you think this video was super helpful, super awesome, and you want to see more like this, let me know. Subscribe, comment, share, like, do all that good stuff. Sign up to my newsletter for more videos just like this, and let me know what I should do next. I'd like to go even deeper into the subject. If you guys are ready for that and you want to see that, let me know. So I've rambled on enough. Hopefully you guys like it. Subscribe, comment, share, sign up to my newsletter, and I'll see you guys next time. GODSON Official Music signing out. Peace.